Hi there, it's Nicole for Simon Says Stamp, and today I have a card featuring the April 2015 Simon Says Stamp card kit Celebrate. And I have already shared 4 cards previous to this. I also have videos for those that I will link below here in the box below the video. And so this is using a lot of leftovers from the kit, so it's going to be kind of more simple in design. I'm actually using half of the white sheet of cardstock, or one of the sheets of white cardstock in the kit that I created into a card base, and then I took the another scrap from that and I die cut it using a stitched rectangle. So that's that rectangle you see there. I am using the MISTI stamping tool to line up the word yay. This is from the Big Wishes Simon Says Stamp set that is included with the kit, or you can buy it individually if you prefer. But I want to line it up kind of on that bottom third portion of the card. And I inked that and stamped it with the Simon Says Stamp Smoke Gray ink. Now I am taking the balloon from that same stamp set, and I'm going to stamp a whole bunch of balloons all over this using the Simon Says Stamp Mint, Orange Peel, and Doll Pink inks. And I chose all of these inks because those were the cardstocks included in the kit that I have already used almost everything of those for my other cards. So I was inspired by those colors, and so I chose those colors of ink for the card. I'm using both first and second generation stamping. You can see over there to the right where I'm stamping off the orange balloons, and I'm actually using second generation for the orange. I felt like the first generation was a little too dark, and I really liked how the second generation stamping and that particular color looked with the design. The mint and doll pink balloons are all the first generation stamping, so don't be afraid to mix and match. I am going to stamp these all over. I am using some post-it notes to mask off some of that area from the stitching line to the edge of the rectangle. And just switching colors as I see fit. It would have probably been easier if I'd stamped all of one color at one time, but the idea for the card kind of grew and changed as I worked on it, because I originally was just going to do all the balloons up the top portion, and I got to thinking I really kind of wanted the balloons, I wanted it to look like the greeting was in the middle of all the balloons drifting up, if that makes sense. So I decided to stamp a few balloons down underneath this greeting as well. Now I'm going to be taking another die from this bundle of stitched shapes. That is what this stitched rectangle is from. This is an exclusive die collection for Simon Says Stamp, but there is a straight stitched die that comes in that. And I'm going to cut apart my rectangle into two pieces. So essentially I'm going to be cutting out a little strip right under the word yay so that I can stamp an additional greeting from that stamp set that says it's your birthday. So I need to cut out that little piece first, and I'm really eyeballing it. If you really wanted to get nitpicky, you could probably take a ruler or use a grid of some sort on your cutting mat to line that up perfectly, but I eyeballed it. And then I'm going to flip that die, because I still want that stitching line to be visible. I'm going to flip it around, and I'm going to die cut just a little piece off of this smaller piece so that I have a small border that is going to go at the bottom of my card. And that'll make more sense here in a minute once I get that die cut. So I'll run that through real quick. That little in-between piece, I can just throw that away. I'm not going to be needing that anymore. And now I want to grab my card base as well as my MISTI. My MISTI is going to come in super handy here because I want to make sure that I get that text stamped exactly in the right place on the actual card base. So I'm going to lay out my 2 panels. I'm going to position that it's your birthday greeting where I want it to go, and then I'm going to shut the MISTI and pick that up so it assures that when I stamp that, it's going to be exactly where I want it. I'm going to ink up the It's Your Birthday with some Simon Says Stamp black ink now. I want it to really stand out there's a lot of color and things going on with the other panel, so that way it will really pop, especially since I'm going to raise up those other two panels with some foam adhesive. Go ahead and move that out of the way now. Before I adhere the panels to my card, I'm going to really quickly take the Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen and go over all the balloons and give them just a little bit of glitz and glimmer with that Wink of Stella. Once I have all of that done, I am going to take some foam adhesive and apply it to the backs of these panels so that they are raised up. It gives it some slight dimension. This is a really simple looking card, but just tiny little things you can do to kind of make it even more interesting and more fun. I'm gonna just tear off some little pieces of foam tape for both sections. And then I'm going to take off that backing paper and line up both of these and adhere them right to my card base. So I want to make sure that I'm leaving an equal amount of space on the sides and the bottom. Then I'll remove the backing paper from the top panel and adhere that right above that greeting. Again, making sure I leave an equal amount of space at the top and the sides, and that it lines up with the bottom one. It would look kind of funny if it was skewed a bit. Next, I'm going to take my T-square ruler and line it up there with the top of my card, and I'm going to take a Copic multi-liner. This is just a nice fine tip pen, and I'm going to draw in some balloon strings. This would also be fun if you wanted to just freehand your balloon strings. I wanted really straight lines. I stamped all the balloons kind of straight up and down, so I thought it would look really fun if all the balloon strings were really straight. And so I used a ruler to help me achieve that look. Go ahead and make sure that I get balloon strings for all of the balloons. And then I'm going to go in and draw little strings around the bottom of the balloon and freehand some little bows. So I'm going to do this for all of the balloons that you can see that portion on. And there I see a balloon that I missed. So I'll go ahead and draw in that string. And I'll quickly draw in all of the little balloon ties around the bottoms of the balloon. And that'll just finish off this design. Now, before I finish, I am going to go ahead and stamp an additional greeting on the inside of the card using a greeting from that same stamp set included in the April kit. Ink that up with black ink and stamp it, and that continues the design from the outside of the card to the inside. I hope you've enjoyed this video showcasing the April 2015 Simon Says Stamp Card Kit. The supplies I used are listed and linked below the video on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.